Hey, welcome back, guys. Today, I've forgotten what I was going to talk to you about. Oh, not hitting hard. Everyone always wants to try to hit really, really hard when they train. They think more power is better. More power is not always better. Sure, you need to be able to punch really, really hard, or elbow or kick, whatever strike you're doing. But always trying to hit hard is definitely not the way to go. So there are several reasons I'm going to go into as to why you shouldn't be trying to hit someone hard at every strike that you try to land. Okay, so first let me show you the difference between hitting hard and not hitting hard. When you try to hit someone hard, you telegraph the punch. There's no other way about it. Because to telegraph the punch gives you more power. That's just how the body mechanics work, okay? Doesn't matter what style of martial art you look at, whether it be Muay Thai, boxing, Taiji, Bagua, Wing Chun, whatever. In order for the body, the human body, to generate the maximum force it has the potential to generate, it will be more telegraphed than if you don't try to project the most force possible. So let's have a simple look at body mechanics here. Watch my body, okay? If I try to strike something just like that, okay? Right? So I'll just stay still, watch the movement. So when some part of my body moves, so let's say the foot starts pushing the weight forward, the waist starts moving and so on. When my body moves, the hand moves forward. So essentially, there's a direct connection between my foot, all the way through the hips, the waist and everything, into the fist. Okay? Whom, 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 whom. Whether I'm stepping, whom, or just pivoting, whatever I'm doing, there's a direct connection. If I want maximum force, look at any sport. You can look at boxing to know punching. You can look at throwing things such as, I don't know, baseball, for example. So they take the ball, what do? They don't go like this, do they? Right? They don't move everything all at the same time. They take that ball, they load it back. Now watch what happens. Okay, so the leg steps out first. There's the torque building up, waving through the body. Watch the hand. See, the hand didn't move. The hand's still there halfway through the movement. The hand is still there. Then it gets rocketed forward with huge force. I don't know, tennis, serving, particularly, in any real strike actually, but the serve is the most obvious one. So they're bouncing their ball there, they're getting ready, yeah. They throw their ball up, what do? They've got the racket, or some people do it that way, some people do it that way, whichever way, but it's the same concept of when they hit it, what do? Same as throwing the ball. The hand comes out after the body has moved. So this gives us more force, okay? You'll typically see it in boxing with, you see it in lots of strikes, but the strikes that I usually notice it more commonly are the body shots. You'll see that body open up and then the fist will come through a little later, okay? And I'm talking really good boxers, people like Mike Tyson. You can see that happening. It's not a direct movement. You see them, they'll do whatever up here and they'll drop down for their low shot. You'll see the torque wind through and the hand comes through in a wave-like action. So it's slightly delayed from what the rest of the body is doing. This gives us maximum force. Okay, so let's have a look at what the power difference looks like when I punch someone. So just to show you the difference in power. Okay, here's the punch that can connect, that she's not going to try to move it this way because I'm just going to demonstrate how much power difference there is between the two punches. So I'm going to hit it with the punch that was landing all the time. Okay, I'll show you how much force there is behind it. So at that range, we get this. What? Ah, Sorry, guys. Clara, can you just stay there for a minute? Okay, so that same punch again. So it's not that powerful. Okay, now I'm going to punch it with the hard punch, the one that I was missing every time. Okay? Watch out, Clara. So that's a lot more powerful. Now, I don't know if you can see how much more power is there, because either punch, even the first punch, is enough power to cause Fran's arm to go like this. So I don't know if you can physically see the difference, but I can certainly feel the difference on my hand. The first punch, it just feels like, you know, straight under the nose or in the eyes or right on the throat, it'll do some damage. But anywhere other than that, it's just going to be like a setup. It's not going to knock anyone out, that simple punch. Whereas the heavy punch, that's going to knock someone out from just about any sort of angle. So you can test that out yourself though. Just have someone hold a pad or your punching bag or something and punch it with that direct connection, bang, and then punch it with the indirect connection and have a look, and you can feel on your fist the difference in power. Okay, now I'm going to show you why we don't want to use the powerful punch all the time. I'll bring Fran back in. I'm going to try to hit the mitt. Fran's going to try to move the mitt and not let me hit it. I'm going to try to punch it at maximum range, okay? Try to hold it a little flat and not down like that. So, right, meaning I'm right out here. I'm not punching it from here, okay? Yeah?
I want to go to the park. 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 Papa, I want to go to the park. Papa, I want to go to the park. I want to go to the park.
Yeah, that's it. Get her off her game so she doesn't get it out of my way as much. Okay, keep doing the same thing. Hang on, Clara. You have to wait. I have to punch Mummy first. Okay? Good girl. Okay, so as you can see there, when I'm using the direct punch, I'm pretty much able to hit that pad like 8 or 9 times out of 10. So I can hit it most of the time. And that's her hand. She can probably move her hand more easily than she can move her whole head, because that's a lot lighter. It's easy to move your hands out of the way of something. So chances are, if I'm punching at someone's head, I'm going to be able to hit them in the head using that punch. Of course, their hands will be there. They'll be able to stop me with their hands. But just talking from purely the point of, can they move out of the way of my punch? Whereas with the power punch, the indirect waving type punch, that max force punch, it's the reverse. She's able to move that mitt 8 to 9 times out of 10. So it means that if the other guy you're fighting knows what he's doing, and you're at that distance where you haven't closed in yet, chances are you try to hit him like that every time. As soon as he sees that, he's already moved. You've already lost. So you can't hit someone with that maximum force punch unless you've already hit him. Okay? So if I land something, bang, that's closed his eyes for a split second because you've just punched him straight on the nose. Okay? Boom. Now my power hand now, now I might wave that one through with a little bit more power behind it to cause the knockout. So that's one place where you can use the more powerful punch, is essentially any situation where you don't think he's going to see it coming. If we're here and the fight hasn't closed in yet, don't throw full power. If something has happened, you've hit him or you're in very close, you're grappling, something's happened to take his mind off what you're going to do, now you might be able to use that more powerful punch and land it. Oh, the other obvious reason you shouldn't use full force when there's a very high chance he could move and get out of the way of it is not just the fact that you miss. Now, when I'm missing that pad before, you could see I was still staying balanced and so on. But put yourself in a high stress situation where this guy's, I don't know, he's drawn a knife on you, or even if he hasn't got a knife, he's a bit bigger than you. You've never been in a fight before. You're under stress, you're under pressure. Chances of you having perfect balance isn't that likely. Even if you have perfect balance in class where you know the scenario, you know what you're training. Go out in the street or even a competition where this guy's going to really try to knock your head off. It's a full-on competition. Chances are you're going to be a bit panicked. You're a bit stressed out. So your balance, your timing, everything's going to be a bit worse than what it is when you train. You throw your direct, not too powerful punch. Even if he does still move out of the way, boom, you're still there. You haven't fallen over. You haven't exposed yourself. You go for that max force punch, whatever type of strike you like to do, but anything where your brain says, hit him as hard as I can. I'm not talking about different types of techniques. Any technique where your brain says, I want to hit him as hard as I can. You're going to A, telegraph it. You're going to be more likely to be off balance if he moves. So there's more chance he will move anyway. But after he's moved, chances are, you might be a little bit overswung, you see? And then he's over there, you're falling over, and he's piling you in from the side. The other thing is, even if you hit him, you're not going to hit him square on where you thought you were going to hit him. So let's say you're aiming at his nose, and just at the end he sort of tucks his head down, and you hit him square in the forehead. You've just delivered a full-powered punch to the most solid portion of his head, and it's at an odd angle. So the chances of you breaking your own hand have just shot up. If I know that, if that guy stands where he is and he doesn't move, then I can hit him full force pretty much wherever I want, apart from maybe square in the forehead, without breaking my hand. But it's not going to land like that. He's going to move at least somewhat, even if he doesn't fully get out of the way. He's going to at least kind of flinch in some way because he sees all that power. Even if he doesn't know how to fight, his body compacts, his head goes down, you punch him square on the forehead. And it's at an odd angle, so your chances of rolling the wrist are higher, and the chances of breaking the little bones in the back of your hand are also far higher. So go for lighter power until you've got him. There he is. Bang. Then deliver your power punch afterwards. The other time you can deliver powerful strikes, or let's say maximum force strikes, they won't actually be that powerful, but they'll still be maximum power, is when you're very, very close. Okay? So I'll demonstrate that again with Fran holding the mitt. Because I've got all this distance to use, I don't need to use this maximum force power, because I can get enough power. It's not as much, but it's a good solid punch, straight on the nose, in the eyes. It's enough. It's all you need, especially around the facial, not so much the body, but around the face. It's enough power. However, bring it in close, assuming you're in this sort of position, right? Punching from here. This is why most people start to grapple when they get to that distance, or they push them back and swing, right? So, from this range, I'm going to do the connected punch, the non-powerful punch.
Okay, hot, Papa.
Hang on, Clara. So it's not much. It's not going to, I wouldn't even bother throwing that. Whereas close punch from here, that's enough. That to me feels at least as powerful as the long range weak punch. Okay, so a normal bop punch from distance has a similar power to a very close range power punch, Fa-Jing punch. What are you doing, Clara? Hang on just 1 second, she's got herself stuck now. And point being, last little thing that I'll show you. So when we were out here at a range, the fast punch was landing most of the time. The power punch, the Fa-Jing punch, was missing most of the time. However, come here, I'm now going to use the power punch. I'm going to hit this thing as hard as I possibly can. You're going to try to move it. Okay. It's virtually impossible for her to get it out of the way. There was once, I think, there or twice, she managed almost to get it out of the way, but virtually impossible because it's, I'm punching from that distance. So the chances, if my hand's already that close to his neck, there's not much chance he's going to get it out of the way. So that's the point that I wanted to make using Fran. That's all I needed you for, darling. You can, would you like some help there?
Yes, please.
Clara's just gotten herself stuck in the carrier. I'll pull her, you push that down. Okay, go on play inside. You want your bike? Go on then, go. Shoo! Okay, so you can see the point that I'm making there. So as you can see there, even though I'm trying to hit that as hard as I possibly can now, she still can't move it out of the way because I'm starting from this close. So I'm so close, there's not much chance. So that's why when you're in a situation and you're in very, very close, never let yourself have his fist this close to your face. If his fist is there and you haven't, if you've got your hand in his elbow or something, you've controlled it. So then he can't deliver any force. But don't allow his hand to be there uncontrolled, unchecked. Because if he decides to throw a punch from that position and you haven't already got it checked, chances are he's going to land that punch on your jaw. So yeah, from that very, very close range, little upward elbows, things like this, punches into the throat, fingers into the eyes, anything like that. Because at that very close range, for starters, the direct style strike, where you're just moving directly without using that wave for maximum force, it's a useless strike. Unless, of course, the guy's half your size or something. But basically, you won't generate enough force for the strike to be valuable. You're just opening yourself up to attack by doing that. Because remember, every time you try to hit someone, you're opening up your guard. Try that with your, if you've probably done it already, if you know how to fight. But if you've done any kind of free work sparring, get someone else to put the gloves on and say, okay, try to hit me. right? And you just stand there, do your blocking, do your covering, whatever little things you might be doing to stop him from hitting you. It's pretty hard to hit someone when all they're focusing on is defense. But when they start to try to punch you, that's when they open up their guard. So as the attacker, when you're just throwing in your strikes, you're essentially just, throwing out tasters, like, here, look at these, look at these. And then when he opens his guard to try to hit you, that's when you see the opening and you can get it through. If you just try to hit someone when they've got full guard and they're totally covered, it's actually you can do it, of course, but it's more difficult. So it's when you open up your guard that you're vulnerable to getting hit. Now, one last thing I'll just mention before I sign off. Indirect versus direct isn't just here and here. It's a scale, okay? So that's something you've just got to learn to feel. A direct punch where everything moves all at the same time, boom, right? An indirect, a really obvious indirect punch, so really indirect, is where you see this kind of thing, where you'll see, like throwing the ball. So you'll see everything down the bottom, the body movement, you see? And then the fist, that's the most indirect. I would never throw a punch like that. That's too indirect. I don't know, maybe there's a certain situation where I might throw it like that, but generally speaking, no. But yeah, so this is direct, boom, okay? That's direct. This is indirect. Okay? Now, to the untrained eye, you might not be able to see that much difference there. They still both look quite fast, they both look fairly connected and that kind of thing. But you saw on the mitt when Fran was able to move it. With the indirect punch, she was seeing just that. If there is any movement whatsoever before you extend your arm, the chances are she'll see it coming if she knows what she's doing. So anything, it can be opening of the hip before the hand has moved. It can be a shifting of the body before the hand has moved. Anything. It can just be a little, like an in-breath, a little wind-up, a little curving of the body. Anything that your body does before you punch him, before you extend your arm, is telegraphing. But now, of course, you can bring that indirect style of strike back very close to the direct strike. So we can have a really indirect punch, like something like that, right? Anyone can see that. There's a big wave, the hand hasn't moved, and then pop, the hand comes out at the last minute. Or I can have, this would still be an indirect punch, okay? Right? That's still indirect. That I can still feel there's some sort of a wave before the hand goes, but it's a hell of a lot more direct than the previous punch. So it all depends on what's happening in the situation and how good you think the other guy is. So general rule is, if you're not sure, just use your direct strike. But if you're finding that the direct strike is, if you know that your direct strike hits people all the time, but also your slightly less direct strike still hits people all the time, but has more power, well, maybe that's the way you go. Okay?
Don't be loud.
Don't be loud. Is Gabby sleeping?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll try and keep it down, okay?
I just want to have. I wanted to have Grandma's paper.
You want to have Grandma's paper?
Yeah.
Where's Grandma's paper?
It's gone because I used it all.
You used it all?
Drew a cup.
You drew a cup?
Yeah.
Well done.
I get this cup and I get water out of the sink.
Yeah?
Mama said, "Why are you wasting water for?"
Ah, yeah. You don't want to use too much water. You've got to protect the water because it's a valuable resource.
And I need to keep it. Let me put this here.
Okay. Where are you going, Clara?
Excuse me.
Hang on. Can I just finish this video first? Can I just finish the video? Is that all right? Hang on. I'll just sign off and then I'll come play with you, okay? Anyway, I think that's all I really wanted to say, guys. Yeah, just acknowledge that. Figure it out as to how you want to strike. Acknowledge that when you try to hit with maximum force, you're going to miss, you're going to break your own hand, you're going to put yourself in a bad position, you're going to open up your guard. A whole bunch of bad stuff happens when you try to hit with maximum force. Hit with like 70% force, you start landing your punches more, you start maintaining your balance more, you don't break your hands as much, all the good stuff happens. So save your max power strikes, either for you've got him, boom, 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 there he is, knockout, so you know where he is, he's not going to move, or, as I said, very, very close range, you're right in there, boom, you might still be able to deliver something up under the chin or something into the solar plexus, up under the rib, I don't know, wherever you can get your hand in, or especially with the elbows. But yeah, just pay attention to that. Don't always hit hard. Good stuff, guys. See you soon.